Today on the newscast, Hezbollah and Hamas leaders hold a terror summit in Beirut as the Iranian regime looks to activate its ring of fire against Israel. Get all the breaking details next. Hey folks, Eric Steckelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman newscast. Multiple terror fronts have been opened against Israel over the course of the past week. Now, we told you late last week here on the newscast about 4 of those fronts. Number 1, Gaza. Hamas launched dozens of rockets out of the Strip into southern Israel last week. Number 2, in a really stunning development, the largest rocket barrage to come out of Lebanon since 2006, as some 34 rockets were launched from southern Lebanon, Hezbollah land, into northern Israel. And then, of course, the ongoing chaos atop the Temple Mount, where Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad, Iranian terror proxies both, have instigated major unrest revolving around the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And then the 4th front, Judea and Samaria, the biblical heartland of Israel, known by the world as the West Bank. We call it here in the newscast Judea and Samaria because that's what the Bible calls it. The mini terror wave there continued. We'll break that down more in a second. But now over the weekend, a 5th simultaneous front was opened. It's an existing front, long existing. We've documented it many, many times here in the newscast. But Syria. 6 rockets were launched out of the Syrian side, or from the Syrian side of the Golan Heights, into the Israeli side of the Golan Heights in northern Israel. So 5 fronts at once, folks. Gaza, Lebanon, Jerusalem, Judea and Samaria, and Syria. We're going to break down what it all means, the larger ramifications, the Iranian hand behind it, and what comes next. Up first, 2 quick notes for you. Number 1, if you have not subscribed to the Watchman News channel, we would love to have you here with us, shoulder to shoulder as watchmen and women on the wall for such a time as this. So hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, click the notification bell as well so you get alerts every time a new video is posted. Things are happening so fast and developing so rapidly in the world's most chaotic and strategic region, the Middle East, that you do not want to miss any of our updates. Also, a quick programming note, next Monday, April 17th, just 1 week away, my TBN special, What is the Great Reset, is airing. Now, that will air 8 p.m. Eastern Time on TBN on Monday night, April 17th. Folks, you will not want to miss this. Digital currency for one and all, a digital ID, a global government. It may sound conspiratorial, but folks, it's not a conspiracy if the people behind it, who are very powerful, by the way, are saying it out loud. You'll want to watch What is the Great Reset and see how this sinister move affects all of us, no matter where you live. So be sure to check that out. In the meantime, we're focusing today on the sinister agenda of the Iranian regime and its proxies. And to see all 5 of these fronts activated at once brings to mind what we've talked about many times from the newscast. We've called it Iran's ring of fire that surrounds Israel, whether it's Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. And by the way, Hamas there as well, more on that in a minute, whether it's Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Gaza, whether it's various Iranian-backed Shia militias in Syria and Iraq, whether it's the Houthis in Yemen to Israel's far south, the Iranian regime has succeeded in surrounding Israel, which, reminder, is the size of the state of New Jersey, surrounding Israel on all sides with lethal terror proxies armed to the teeth with rockets, missiles, and attack drones. Are we seeing the stirrings of this ring of fire being activated now? Not to mention, those are the barbarians at the gates. What about the barbarians inside the gates? Hamas and Islamic Jihad acolytes who have barricaded themselves inside the Al-Aqsa Mosque over the past week. And of course, terrorists who continue to maim and murder in Judea and Samaria, Israel's biblical heartland. Let's review right now what we have. Syria, as I mentioned, activated over the weekend on Saturday. 6 rockets fired. Thankfully, no one hurt. On the Israeli side of the Golan, Israel did respond with airstrikes against Syrian military positions. At the end of the day, Israel holds the regime of Bashar al-Assad responsible for any terror, any aggression that comes out of Syria. Remember, Assad has welcomed Hezbollah and Iran in, not to mention Russia. So Israel holds him ultimately responsible for anything that comes out of Syria, while, of course, continuing to strike the Iranian military and terror apparatus in that country. But Syria was activated. Again, folks, no coincidence. Lebanon, of course, Israel responded against Hamas positions there. You may say, Hamas, what are they doing in Lebanon? Hezbollah welcomed them in, allowed them to set up a terror infrastructure, and those rockets last Thursday were fired by Hamas under Hezbollah's watchful eye, which brings us to the big development, to my mind, over the weekend, the terror summit held between the leaders of Hezbollah and Hamas. Now, Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah, Hezbollah's main leader, met with Ismail Haniyeh, who is Hamas's political leader in Gaza. Another top Hamas operative, Saleh al-Aruri, was also at that meeting with Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah. He's the kingpin of Hamas terror in the West Bank, Judea, and Samaria. So a very significant meeting, folks, I would say. Number one, the timing of it, no coincidence. Ismail Haniyeh, the Hamas leader, arrived in Beirut on Wednesday, one day before Hamas terrorists fired rockets into Israel from Hezbollah territory. Again, I'm sure Haniyeh's arrival in Lebanon to meet with Hezbollah is all just a coincidence. And then after a week of terror hitting Israel from all sides, really, Haniyeh, Aruri, and Nasrallah, they meet yesterday in Beirut to plan what they call further resistance against the Zionist entity Israel. Update on those other two fronts, those internal fronts, Jerusalem and Judea and Samaria, before we go. In Jerusalem, we had, again, a situation with young Palestinians barricading themselves inside the Al-Aqsa Mosque over the weekend. That appears to have quieted down, thankfully, for the moment. I believe we have another week and a half, week or so of Ramadan, and also Passover last until the middle of this week. So a very tumultuous time. Easter was yesterday as well. But it looks like that situation has been calmed for the moment atop the Temple Mount. Judea and Samaria. We told you on Friday about that horrific terror shooting of a family that was traveling through Samaria. 2 sisters murdered, killed. And now their mother, who was critically wounded in that attack, has succumbed to her wounds. She is also now dead. So 3 people, a mother and 2 daughters, slaughtered by terrorists last Friday in Samaria. And that night, after we came to you here on the newscast, we had another terror attack in Tel Aviv. Just to give you an update, a car ramming, 7 people injured, 1 person killed, an Italian tourist, a young 35-year-old guy with his entire life in front of him, murdered by a terrorist there as well in a car ramming attack. So Israel is getting hit, folks, on all sides. And Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, says, look, yes, we've been divided internally, but we'll be just fine when it comes to dealing with external threats. And he may be put to the test soon because Iran, again, is growing more bold. There's coordination between Hamas and Hezbollah leaders with a direct line back to Tehran. So things are stirring, and Iran also feels very confident right now because it has Russia behind it. That alliance is growing as well. And let's not forget the comments on Friday of Recep Erdogan, the Turkish leader, a NATO member nation. Although under Erdogan's leadership, I refer to Turkey today as NINO, NATO in name only, Erdogan held a call with Iran's president, Ibrahim Raisi, the butcher of Tehran, last Friday, and said that the Muslim world should unite against Israel over its treatment of the Palestinians and the Al-Aqsa Mosque Temple Mount issue. Folks, hang on to your hats. A lot of information we're bringing to you, I know, but we're trying to bring it to you every day and keep you up to speed. We're following all of this very, very closely, talking to our contacts and sources on the ground in Israel. So keep it right here on the newscast every single day. Be sure to subscribe. Hey, one last programming note before I forget. This Wednesday, April 12th already, wow, a Watchman Newscast live stream here on the channel between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So be sure to join us live for one solid hour and bring your questions for our Q&A session. That's Wednesday, April 12th between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Until tomorrow, folks, keep it all in prayer. Again, the God of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. He is in control. Even amid all the chaos, He is in control. So take heart and be encouraged. Hey, God bless you, and remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. And don't forget to share your thoughts, insights, and comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.